acting at all. I was kind of an artsy fartsy high school type of kid. I listened to Bauhaus, and I would do photography classes, and go to cemeteries and develop my own photographs. I was punk rock sort of kid, and I liked art. I always thought maybe I'd like to do something in the arts, but that involved me living in like a creepy house with a bunch of cats and not answering the door, but I never thought anything like what I'm doing now.
So you end up in, as a, I guess, teenager, maybe early 20s, living in London. And again, just not, I mean, like if I were to find you in London at the time, it's like, oh, hey, you're Norman. Nice to meet you. What are you doing here? What would you say?
Whew. What was I doing there? I squatted in a house with a bunch of people, and we would, take ecstasy and go to the park on the weekends next door, Clapham Common, and then we would eat potatoes for dinner.
Jacket potatoes.
That's all we did. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just sort of trying to find myself. I think I spent most of my youth just trying to figure out who I was. I just did the Criterion collection when you go into their closet and you pick movies that are influences you. And I was terrified because I was like, I'm going to have to talk about like Truffaut all day and like, Godard. And, the truth is I've been working so much, I barely watch movies anymore. And then I started like picking these movies and like talking about the movies. And I was like, they all, like Midnight Cowboy, like, I remember seeing, that movie came out in 69. I was born in 69. I remember seeing that at a young age, and I wanted that leather jacket with the tassels. I wore that jacket everywhere. Like it could be 100 degrees. That, you form your personalities based on so many things you see, but you never know where they're going to take you. You're inspired by certain things. And, now I have a new, like, I don't know if we're talking about it. I think you meant the photography book, but
yeah.
I just saw the new one. I just saw the new book. It's fucking awesome. And I have, it's my fourth book now. And that book, I was like, holy shit, this is like, for some reason I saw that book and I was like, oh my God, you're doing it. Like the other books were great too, but like, I was like, oh wow. Like
this is your book of photography, which we'll talk about as well.
It's crazy good. But it's not even that, it's the way it's put together. It's the way it's presented. It made it really real all of a sudden. And then, talking about Midnight Cowboy and Harold and Maude and these movies.
Harold and Maude. I mean, what a great film.
But like that
Beautiful
lady
film.
in Harold and Maude, like struck me so hard watching that movie and what her message was in that movie. And then I see Rosemary's Baby and I'm like, it's her. That's the lady. And, I have so many relationships with older men. I'm fascinated by older women and older men. Like I'm talking about like my parents' age. And I think the men, like, when I worked with Scott Wilson, I just latched on to Scott Wilson. When I worked with Chris Christopherson, I latched on to Chris Christopherson. And there were times when I was a kid, people would say, oh, what does your dad do? I'm like, he's a fireman. He's an astronaut. He's a policeman. Like, I just make shit up. But like, so many lines from these movies I've said in my real life, so many story points of my life, that it seems like you just black out your entire childhood. And then these little like clouds pop up and you're like, oh, that's the cloud I was standing under when I formed that opinion of myself about my life. But as far as art, I never thought I'd live a life of art. Although I always did art. I always took pictures. I used to make sculptures